Back again. This time is transfer targets for game week 24. As always, I'm going to be sharing two great options for each position between game weeks 24 to 26, one based on the Fantasy Football Hub's predicted points and one picked by myself using stats and fixture analysis to help choose the best players for the upcoming game weeks. First, we're going to do a quick overview of the team for game week 24, and yeah, I'm pretty pleased with the team at the moment. I think the weakest areas is likely to be the defence, with them all playing away from home. However, Arsenal do have Leeds away. Now, that is a tough fixture. Obviously, Leeds at home are really strong, but Arsenal are really strong defensively, so I would be hoping to go into that to get a clean sheet. The two players either side of them, Richards and Anderson, that's where I feel I'm at my weakest. Nottingham Forest just beat Brentford away from home, so they'll be going into that fixture with confidence. Palace just shipped 3 goals to Chelsea at home, but my thoughts on that fixture are that, considering how poorly both teams are doing, I reckon that's going to be a tight game. So I'm hoping for a low scoring game. Hopefully that will go the way of Palace and possibly a clean sheet is there. Now I've got Anderson away to Man United, and after the last 2 results for Man United, that doesn't seem like the best choice. However, when you look at my bench, I've got Goodmanson at home to Arsenal. I've got 3 players from Arsenal, so it doesn't make sense to play Goodmanson against those players. And then I've got Michael Keane. Now, he is back from his suspension. Is he going to play? Doubtful. I'm not sure. Does he come straight back in? Depends on how the fixture goes on Monday evening against Leeds for Everton. I would imagine it's going to be Jacob Bryan and Tarkowski as the centre-backs. But we did have news that Branthwaite is back training and they're expecting him to be fit soon. So at any moment, Branthwaite could come in, and that obviously takes out Keane's position. So yeah, I'm not certain that he's going to play. If I get some news, that'd be great, because I'd prefer to play him against Brighton away than maybe Anderson away to United, considering how well they're doing, Man United doing right now. But for now, that's the most realistic lineup. I don't feel like I'm going to make any other transfers elsewhere. I could possibly move Semenyo onto Mbeumo. That's what I want to do. But out of all the City players right now, considering Semenyo scored against Wolves and he started well for City, is he likely to be dropped considering how bad Foden's playing, Doku's not doing anything, Savinho's not anywhere near getting in the team? Yeah, I think Semenyo's place is pretty much certain right now. Going up against Tottenham away, where Tottenham are struggling, and especially at home, it seems like a good fixture for Semenyo to play in. So maybe I'll just hold off on that Mbeumo transfer and potentially roll the transfer. But if I don't do that move, which I was planning to do before Semenyo again scored, maybe I could use that transfer on Keane and get in a defender that's actually going to start and be guaranteed 90 minutes. Alright, so looking at the fixture ticker for game week 24 onwards to game week 29, we can see that Bournemouth are now top of the list for fixtures. Wolves away, Aston Villa at home, Everton away, West Ham away, Sunderland at home and Brentford at home. So yeah, a lot of good fixtures there that you could target, specifically Wolves away, West Ham away, Sunderland at home and Brentford at home. You could say that Aston Villa at home is a good fixture as well, because Bournemouth are so strong, as they proved in game week 23 against Liverpool, beating them 3-2. So there's definitely goals there if you want to target Bournemouth players. Chelsea, been saying it for a couple of weeks now, they've got some great fixtures and they're now coming to that really good run where they've got West Ham at home, Wolves away, Leeds at home and Burnley at home. So again, chances of clean sheets, attacking returns from a number of players in Chelsea. And then you've got Crystal Palace and Man United. Crystal Palace aren't really performing, so it's difficult to pick players from that squad. However, with Sarr coming back, Kamada's going to be back soon, I think they could start to turn around. Yes, they lost Gahey, but coming from a Palace fan's point of view, there were moments under Glasner where Gahey wasn't playing and Lerma stepped into that position, and we didn't look like we missed Gahey. We went on a good run of fixtures where we won games before Gahey come back. So it's not all doom and gloom. I do think we can still keep clean sheets. And then of course Man United, I mean, what a great start Michael Carrick has made. It does make you think, do I want to get some more attacking players into my team? People like Cunha, Mbeumo, Ahmad, Dorgu, all good options. It's just about minutes and who's most likely to get the most minutes to get you those attacking returns. so let's look at some of these players that Fantasy Football Hub have predicted to score the most points over the next 3 game weeks and see if any of these will fit into the team. Alright, so unsurprisingly, Fantasy Football Hub have chosen Chalobah. Now, of course, Gabriel and Timber are ahead of him. He is third in the list in terms of defenders to score the most points over the next 3 game weeks. I would assume that most people have Gabriel or Timber in their team, maybe Raya as well. So I've not put them on the list because they're very obvious defenders to go for. If you don't have those defenders, go for them. If you do, Trevor Chalobah is a great shout. I've been saying that he's a good shout for the last couple of weeks. He's pretty much nailed, probably Chelsea's most nailed defender along with Cucurella. He plays full 90 minutes. He played 90 minutes versus Palace, where they almost kept a clean sheet. They now have West Ham at home, Wolves away, and then Leeds at home, followed by Burnley at home in game week 27. So 4 great fixtures to target. I couldn't say that you'd move Chalobah out of your first 11 for any of those fixtures. They're all great, and you can fully expect Chelsea to get clean sheets in at least 2 of them. Surely, considering they're playing some of the most underperforming teams in the league in terms of expected goals. Fantasy Football Hub believe that to be the case as well. He's predicted to score 14.5 points over the next 3 game weeks. He's got a points per 90 of 5.29, so he's regularly picking up points. He's one of the top scoring defenders in the league. His expected goal involvement isn't great, but he has got 3 goals this season already. Managed to pick up 3 goals last season, so he's already on track to beat that. Defensively as a team, Chelsea don't seem to be the best. 1.4 expected goals conceded per 90. However, they have managed to keep clean sheets in 9 games so far this season. So despite their high expected goals conceded, they are managing to keep clean sheets against the lesser teams. So yeah, going into these next 4 fixtures, like I said, they do perform well against the lesser teams. So fully expect them to keep some clean sheets. And his DEFCON is 8.9. It seems to be improving with every game. He's actually hit 10 DEFCON points in his last 4 games, so that's an additional 8 points that would have been gathered from him. So yeah, overall, I mean, he offers a lot. He's nailed, he plays 90 minutes, keeps clean sheets, he's an attacking threat, and he gets DEFCON. I mean, that's perfect for a defender, hence the reason why he's now 5.6 million. A lot of people are jumping on him. He's no longer a differential, he's now 20.2% owned, but for good reason. He's got West Ham at home, Wolves away, Leeds at home, and then Burnley at home. 3 fixtures out of the next 4, all at home, and that is where Chelsea keep most of their clean sheets, so it makes sense to go for Trevor Chalobah if you're looking for a new defender. And I'm going to be a little bit different and go for Daniel Munoz. His ownership is only 5.9% at the moment, so he's actually a real differential right now, despite everybody knowing how good he is as an attacking fullback. He played 75 minutes against Chelsea, so he should be back to full fitness soon. He's guaranteed to start. He plays pretty much full 90 minutes if he's fully fit, which he is getting back to. Yeah, he's the best attacking fullback in the league in terms of FPL. He gets an expected goal involvement of 0.3 per 90, which is one of the highest in the league. His expected goals conceded is 1.21, and Palace's, since Munoz has been out of the team, is 1.6 expected goals conceded. So clearly with him in the team, Palace are a better team defensively. Defensive contributions wise, he does pick up defensive contributions every now and then. He's got it 3 times this season, but he has missed 8 game weeks, so 3 times isn't too many, but given the fact he's an attacking fullback, plays right wing back rather than right back, you can understand why he doesn't get it too many times. But he does average around 7.22 per 90, so he's getting close to that defensive contributions every week, but only managed to hit it 3 times so far. But his attacking threat is what you pick Munoz for. You don't really expect to get defensive contributions every week. 14.2 points predicted over the next 3. And like I said, his ownership is only 5.9%, so he could be a real differential if you get him in now. I'm considering it as my Keane replacement. Maybe the fixtures right now aren't the greatest, however, Munoz is one of those players you set and forget. You just don't know when he's going to get those attacking returns. So for me, you just keep him in the team. All right, moving into midfield, and Fantasy Football Hub have Bruno as the top player in midfield to target. He's predicted to get 19.2 points over the next 3 game weeks. Clearly you can see why. Fulham at home, Tottenham at home, and West Ham away. He's got 6.3 points per 90 and expected goal involvement of 0.7. You can fully expect Bruno to be involved in anything good that Man United does in terms of attacking play. He's playing in that number 10 role, so really creative for United. He's returned in the last 3 games since he's come back. He's got 3 assists in 3 games. He does get big chances as well, 0.52, but really his chances created are really what stands out for him, 0.79. And then sometimes he'll get the DEFCON's contributions, but now he's playing in that 10 role and not that deeper line playmaker role that Amrin had him playing in. You can expect him to create more than get defensive contributions. So depends what you're after. But for me, Bruno is just one of those players you have to go for. He's on all set pieces. He takes corners, he takes free kicks and penalties. He's got so many different avenues to goals and assists. For me, there's a reason why it's 20.2% owned, and I fully expect that ownership to rise this game week because of the fixture turn. All right, so I'm going to pick Bryan Mbeumo. Now, I picked him last game week. He's definitely somebody that I'm looking to get in potentially this game week. Again, because of the fixtures, Fulham at home, Tottenham at home and West Ham away. 3 great fixtures to target. Predicted 18.1 points over the next 3 game weeks. Points per 90 of 5.25. He scored in his last 2 games for United. 1 against City, 1 against Arsenal. So going into easier fixture runs, you'd hope that continue. Expected goal involvement of 0.52. He's got 8 goals and 1 assist. And the big chances are 0.76 per 90. So between Bruno and Mbeumo, you can see that whilst Bruno is creating the most for the United team, you've got Bryan Mbeumo getting the most chances. So if you had both of them in the team, you can fully expect to get a Bruno assist and a Bryan Mbeumo goal. For me, the reason why I'm considering Bryan Mbeumo, not just because of those brilliant stats, but also the fact that he's only 8.2 million and he's playing up front. So to get United's forward for 8.2 million and he's a midfielder in FPL, and we know what that gets you in terms of an extra point for a goal, potentially more bonus points because of the fact that he's a midfielder getting goals. Yeah, that's the reason why I'm considering him. I want to get him in, but part of me is thinking maybe I rolled a transfer just because we don't know what's around the corner. Injuries could happen, and then all of a sudden I'm taking hits again to sort out my team. All right, so moving on to forwards, and Fantasy Football Hub have got Thiago as the 3rd best striker to go for over the next 3 game weeks. Predicted 15 points over those 3 game weeks. His fixtures aren't great. Aston Villa away, Newcastle away, and then Arsenal at home. Playing in terms of league position, 2 of the best teams in the league in Aston Villa and Arsenal. And then Newcastle away is not going to be easy. We know how strong Newcastle are at home, despite them just losing to Aston Villa. Probably not the best time to target Thiago. The only positive for him is he is on penalties. Now, we know what it can be like. A player could be innocuous for the whole game, especially against these top teams. And then, well, out of nowhere, a penalty gets given and he's coming away with 6, 7, 8 points. That is the reason why Thiago is on this list, because Fantasy Football Hub value things like that, penalties. So I've got him in my team, so of course I'm not going to be going through him. He does have a 38.1% ownership. Now that I've got him in, my ranking won't be affected when he does score, because really and truly that is the reason why my rank dropped so much, because I didn't have Thiago in my team. I transferred him out for Ekitike, which we all know didn't go very well. Yeah, despite the fixtures, hoping he can get something. Doubt it, because they are tough fixtures, but you just never know. If you wanted to go against Thiago, which would be a great idea considering his high ownership and his terrible fixtures, then I would personally go for somebody like Evan Nilsson. Now, he's not the most exciting pick, and like I've said for many weeks, there aren't a great deal of strikers to go for. But for me, I'm going for Evan Nilsson. Bournemouth have got the best fixtures on the list. We've already seen that. Wolves away, Aston Villa at home and Everton away. And then after that, their fixtures are even better, with West Ham away, Sunderland at home, and then Brentford at home. So yeah, 6 great fixtures to target. Evan Nilsson is predicted to score 11.3 points according to Fantasy Football Hub, so they don't rate his chances that well over the next 3 game weeks. But for me, considering Bournemouth have lost Semenyo, they've got Kruppi Jr. of course, but Kruppi Jr. in the last game against Liverpool was substituted around the 70th minute, and Evan Nilsson stayed on. His points per 90 are 4.07, but over the last 4 game weeks, he has now got 3 goals in his last 4, so he is in form. So another reason why I don't think he's going to be dropped. He seems to be the informed striker for Bournemouth right now. He scored against Liverpool, and he actually should have had another goal. He just put it wide of the post. It would have been the winner, because it was late in the game before they eventually went on to win the game anyway, but he should have had 2 out of that game. There's a chance he's on penalties if Kruppi Jr. is not on the pitch now that Semenyo's gone and Tavernier's injured. So despite Evan Nilsson missing a couple, he could be on penalties if Kruppi Jr. isn't on the pitch. He's got 5 goals, 3 assists so far this season, expected goal involvement of 0.4, so he's heavily involved in all the things good with Bournemouth in terms of attacking output, and that is confirmed by a 0.68 big chances per 90, so a good player to target. It's good because it's somebody else to look at rather than Thiago, Ekitike and Haaland. It was getting a bit boring talking about forwards because it was always seemed to be the same 2 forwards I was talking about outside of Haaland. Evanilson is now in the mix and his ownership is 1.7%. So if you wanted to take on that Igor Thiago ownership of nearly 40%, then Evanilson at 1.7% would definitely be a differential. And that's my top transfer targets for game week 24. What are your thoughts on my picks? Are there any players that I've missed out on? Please drop them in the comments. I'll be sure to check them out and reply. And finally, don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you don't miss upcoming episodes and future FPL content. Fantasy Focus and my team selections will be coming later this week. Let's smash game week 24. As always, green arrows. Thanks for watching.